YouTube! In this video I'm gonna be becoming the spokesperson for the FEDORA Linux project and the FEDORA Linux operating system, a free operating system based on Linux and the Red Hat Linux operating system, an enterprise solution for companies. But this FEDORA Linux, it's more of a workstation type of solution, very straightforward installation process. If you have any experience with Linux before, you're gonna be at home with this one. So what's so great about FEDORA Linux, like specifically compared to something like Ubuntu or maybe like Debian or maybe like Arch Linux? Well, FEDORA Linux comes with really current packages. It updates every 6 months. There are no LTS versions. You get like cutting edge software and you get really a nice type of like stock solution with GNOME Desktop. You will always have the newest version of GNOME Desktop. You will have a great like support from a real company, Red Hat, that is actually, I believe nowadays, like somehow related to like Cisco, maybe, if I'm like right, I'm not really sure about that. But you know, you get great support if you have Intel based like computers, you know, that have Intel processor, like Intel graphics cards. It's gonna work flawlessly on that. Like the best computers maybe for like running FEDORA Linux are probably like old ThinkPads. Maybe you can build a custom like desktop to run this thing on, but you really don't need much, you know, in terms of hardware to like get this up and running. And what's so great, what's the other great thing about like the FEDORA Linux? It's that there are none of these like PPAs like in the Ubuntu, you know. And in terms of the upgrade process with FEDORA Linux, I have never had any problems, you know. I've never had any problems, and you can keep the same installation for years and you will still have the most current software, and it's always so rock solid stable, you know. Like there won't be any crashing with this one if you have the right hardware. And you know what's really great also about FEDORA Linux? Well, it's named after the freaking Fedora hat. Is there anything like more like great than that, you know? Like one of the reasons I became the Fedora hat man was that I named my YouTube channel True Detective. But why did that really happen? Well, I was using FEDORA Linux back then also, you know. I have been using this operating system for almost 5 years now. I can say that 5 years exclusively, only FEDORA Linux, you know. And man, you know, some of the things I have done, they couldn't have been possible if I had used Macs or like Apple products or like Windows. Not possible, because with Linux, you know, and with the right hardware, you can you're in control of you become in control of your own life, you know. And there's this saying, you know, that with great power comes great responsibility. And that's the kind of like the message behind the Linux operating system also, that this is not really something that really holds your hand very much. Yeah. And you have to keep that in mind with this kind of stuff. But I can really recommend this operating system for people that want a straightforward, simple solution. If you are doing a lot of specialized things, you know, on the computer, well, maybe not. But I feel that most of my, almost all of my writing has been actually done on a Linux computer or on a Linux computer with the FEDORA Linux. All of my video making is done nowadays on Kden Live, all open source software. And I feel that, you know, my vision behind, you know, my YouTube channel is very open source also. I'm trying to become the open source man. You know, I feel that the Fedora man, if you like start to like use this platform and like start to use this operating system, start wearing the Fedora hat, but on top of that, you know, this blue one, I reviewed this one today. This like goes so well with this like operating system. And I actually ordered this one through the Fedora Linux operating system. Yeah, that's cool. But you know, let's stop talking about hats and let's start talking about how, like, what kind of person should you become when you use the Fedora Linux? Well, you should become open, like open source. You know, become a person that, you know, is not this like, you know, this like, become more sharing. You know, become more like caring, become more, you know, considerate, become more gentlemanly. Yeah, you know, become the Fedora man. Like really embody this thing. Don't just be using this thing and be like anything you want in your life. Like make this thing like so cohesive. That's my vision. I want to become and I want to be the real Fedora man. Yeah. Thanks for watching.